Hello, I hope you're doing really well. Today I'm particularly excited because this is a special video for me where I finally share my type after like months and months of anxiety and questioning and hard work. My type is ENFJ and I will explain why it's ENFJ and not ENFP like you guys believe or any other type. This also comes after I've asked Jack from World Socionics Society, who typed me as ENFJ EIE 8 months ago, to do a video on his channel if you wanted, explaining why I was an ENFJ. And so I've linked the video he did down in the comment section below. You can go watch it, it's maybe 7 minutes. And also his channel is an incredible resource if you want to learn Socionics, which I believe is the better system, but that's a subject for another time. And so, yeah, I'll respond to Jack's video, things he said that I totally agree with. And then I'll go further into why I believe I'm an ENFJ, not an ENFP, differentiating between those functions, and also why I believe I'm an ENFJ, not an ESFJ. And I'll go through my thinking, which is so my strong suit. But anyway, so yes, I've been typed many things, as you've seen in a past video, ISTJ, ENFP, ISFP, and a lot of people, my subscribers, not just now, but like in the past when I posted about being INFP, still believe I was, you still believe I'm ENFP or INFP, and so that's why I want to make this video, and that's also why I asked Jack to support me with his great TI. And that's the first thing is he says, just the fact that I asked him to do that does, it's a great clue that I'm FE with TI suggestive, right? That I ask someone else to do the logical thing and to do the explaining of my type. That's already a big clue. You can watch the video, it goes into more details, but I do have this desire to have a TI, one true type, a coherent type that, would be shared. And that was what really motivated me to go and get typed by so many people. I wanted to be objective. I wanted to have the actual real true type, right? Not just I identify as this and then I go along saying I'm a type and it's not my type. I really wanted the truth, the TI truth, and it's not easy. And then I was typed all these different things and it was horrible. He was talking about like the stereotype of ENFJs, that they're often seen as like really dramatic, larger than life, but that it's not always the case. They simply craft an image that will be received well, and that is what I do. He also shared, the fact that I was really popular in high school, queen bee like, and yes, that is true, and I did enjoy it, and so already that can point to an extroverted feeling type, but FE even more so. It was the popularity, not the exploration of different people like ENFP, but really the popularity part. And he says this idea that when an ENFJ is a bit unconfident in themselves, their vision and their truth, which I am still in that sort of realm, they can show demonstrative NE with a lot of ambiguity and like all these explorations, but it doesn't make them happy, and that's the key here, and I'll go into more detail. They're actually seeking ENFJs to things that are significant and meaningful, and that is 100% true. And yeah, they detest that any ambiguity, and they like to have that TI hard logic, and often that's why their dual is ISTJ, or if you're from MBTI, ISTP. But the type that has TI and SE is the dual of my type, and that is why it would be my dual, because they have that assertive, hard, tough logic, right? That TI-SE instinct that would sort of stabilize me. But anyway, all right, so that's my answer to his video. He's right, like 100% in it. And I really do believe I'm ENFJ now. I did a lot of hard work. Please give that to me. So much hard work, so much TI, so much NE. And I'm tired, but at least I have an answer, which feels great. So why am I not NE? Well, yes, I show surface behavior of NE, 100%, you're right with that. But in ENFJs, since they're intuitives, NE is strong, but it's not valued. And NE is placed at a demonstrative spot. So you may see NE in an ENFJ. All these typings, all these different typings I've had, all these possibilities, they sort of forced any onto me. I had to explore different possibilities, but doing that, I hated it. It created so much anxiety. I would do the NE and explore all the possibilities and get really anxious and physically ill, right? So it's like, yes, it's strong, I can do it, but at a big cost, and I actually don't like it. I don't value it. And I'm just not the type that's truly exploratory and truly open-minded and wants to open as many doors. I think that's great. I wish I was more like that because I can be a bit close-minded. Anything I find meaningless or insignificant, the door's closed. I'm not going to open that again. Like, I don't really care. So I have a little bit of a tunnel vision. And it can be a flaw. It can be good, but it can also be a flaw. So I don't have this great any open-mindedness to all the different possibilities. I just don't have that in my life, and I'm known to not have that in my life. And I think that the surface any behavior, even though it's like, okay, demonstrative any in ENFJ, I also think I do have ADD, and it may bring about surface behavior of any without the true general trend of any in the life of the person or the motivation of any. And that's really key here when you want to type someone. Don't look at just surface behavior or what they look like. Look at what they do generally in their lives and what their motivation is. Highly important. And so I'm not an E and I'm an I. It's auxiliary, so it can be subtle, but it's definitely there. I'm always searching for something that's meaningful, that has purpose, that's significant for me. And I avoid anything that I judge meaningless, waste of time, all the time. And it can be, that's what can lead me to be a little bit closed-minded with people around me, because if I judge it as lacking meaning, I won't pay too much attention to it. I have closed a lot of doors to do that I just judged meaningless or a waste of time. I have done that. And I'm looking for this symbolic and archetypal way of life. That's the way I view life, is symbolic and archetypal. And a couple of years ago, I was like, I think I'm INFJ. I even did a video. I think I deleted it because I was made fun of in other videos by other creators, thinking I was INFJ. She's so clearly ENFP, haha. And I think that wounded me a little bit, so I deleted the video, but I think I was actually right. The way that I perceive life, it's auxiliary, right? But it's really like a image focus, it's symbolic, it's like little flashes of symbols and images. And I'm really interested in that, and that's why I explore archetypes and even typology, which is really like FETI typology, so there you go. My aim in life is achieving like transformation and alchemy, and I'll detail that later on in the video. And yeah, my relationship to time, I'm really aware of how little time I will have on Earth. Really aware that me and everyone else who's alive right now is actually going to die, and like in 200 years we're all not there anymore. And also, when I was a bit younger, maybe like 18, I was plagued with this vision of our sun exploding. And we know stars explode. We don't necessarily know that when, but it is going to happen. And so even if then we have colonized different planets in our solar system, we're all dead. And so I would see this vision of the sun exploding. And we die, obviously. And then I would have this eternal consciousness, noticing the infinity of time. And I got really scared of the amount of time that will be left after we've all gone, and the amount of time that was there before we even arrived. And I think that that's what happens, this idea of meaning or meaninglessness with NI, is that you go so far in your perception, so detached, that then it renders little daily things that maybe censors or even extroverted Twitters can care about very meaningless in your view, because you're viewing life from a very far standpoint. And it can make you appear sometimes wise, not always, because I'm FE first and I can be dramatic, but sometimes wise in this detachment of I'm not attached to a lot of things in my life. And it can make the normal grind, the daily little things you're supposed to do very difficult because of it. Which can be why EIEs are known to not like what's normal and habitual and enjoy things that are grander. It can be why. So there you go. That's why I am an E. And I, sorry, it's because I'm French. So I read an E en français, but I meant I'm an I, not an E. All right. Now I'll go into why I am not FI, but very much so FE. So FI, typical for an ENFJ, I actually ignore it. It's an ignoring function. My likes and dislikes, I know it. Since I'm a feeler, yes, FI is strong, but I really don't care about my likes and dislikes. It's not this special thing for me. Developing attitudes, let's say, like, oh, I really like this type of person and not this type of person, is just not something I spend my time on at all. I also have a problem with FI. FI people I can find a bit selfish and self-absorbed sometimes, and that is just the FE perspective. I understand it, but the reason why is that my moral code is tied to the impact I have on my social environment, to the impact I have on other people, the emotional impact, how I make them feel. It's also tied to how I'm perceived. Am I perceived as good or am I perceived as bad? And when sometimes FIs, when their dislikes are apparent, they can sort of spoil the mood a little bit and create awkwardness that I find unnecessary. Because it's not about meaning, it's just about likes and dislikes. But that's just my FE perspective. I want to be really clear. I see the value of FI. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm just showing why I'm not FI. Yes, and then I will full-blown be fake. Full-blown, and I know it. I'll keep, like, if I have thoughts like I don't agree with the person, or yes, I'll know, like, if I don't really like what someone is saying, it won't come out. I'm fake. I'll receive, I'll pretend that I'm interested a bit, but it's not fake in that sense. It's just that my goal is to make the other person feel good, valued, heard, seen, validated, respected. That's my aim. That's what I seek to do. That's the type of vibe that I want to create. And I'll go further why it's not FESI, but after. So I'll just stay here for now. We'll go deeper later on. But yeah, that's just, I'll be fake because I'm FI ignoring and TI inferior. So my truth and my likes will not be prioritized. It's FE and impact I have that is always prioritized. Also, I express my emotions a lot. And even when I don't talk, and if I feel an emotion, everyone will see it. It's funny, even in photos from little events, my emotions, they're so written on my face. And the love of my life too. Let's say I'm in a partnership. He will see everything I'm feeling. I'm really not hard to read. I may try to hide it to keep a good vibe, but not gonna work. Very apparent. So my emotions are expressed, and I can have a hard time with FI, who will want to cut conversation, cut the dialogue, and sort of say, I'm done, this is what I think, I'm not gonna budge, and this is what I feel, I'm not gonna budge, you know, and they go and live that on their own. I really don't like that. So there you go, another little proof. Also, I'm moody. I'm a little moody. My mood changes. I can be intense because of it. I also take life very seriously, right? FE and I, it's like serious. It's not just fun, it's serious. So yeah, I can be moody because my emotions are tied to the context. They're not tied to a stable attitude like FI. So it's not because I love a person that I will always treat them the same way. If a person does something good, I'm happy, but if the person does something bad, I'm really angry, and I'll say it, and I'll say why, you know. And it's not bad, it's not like worse than FI. I know a lot of people seem to prefer FI people for some reason, the authenticity of it, the stability of it, and that's okay, but I'm not that, so whatever. And yes, just the thing of being like really, really popular in school and really liking it, and it being my goal, my NI goal, like I was always making decisions in order to be popular in the future. It was really like a goal of mine. And oh yes, and then at like 19 or 20 or 21, I had a typical extrovert crash of like having lived through other people and then realizing I had absolutely no idea who I was and I didn't want anything, but I also wanted everything. It's the typical Jungian hysteria from Extrovert that I experienced. So here's why I'm FE and not FI. Now, sorry, it's 15 minutes. I'll try to make it short, but I'm really just trying to show like why ENFJ, not something else. And I think I've been typed so many things, I'm gonna go in depth. So here is why I am FE and I, and then why I'm not FE SI. So yes, I'm gonna say it afterwards. I'm FE and I because yes, my big vision, my big FE and I goal or purpose is alchemical transformation. I seek to transform lead into gold and darkness into light. There's a lot of darkness in our world, and I like seeing it being morphed into light and good and positivity. That is really my did in my own life. I was really struggling and I worked so hard to change my perspective, transform who I was within to become a lighter version of myself. And I encourage other people to do that too. I'm not certain how I'm going to do that yet, but I know that it's a big vision that I have and it's how I see the world. I think a big issue in our society is childhood trauma. And what happens is that this childhood trauma traps us in unconsciousness, reactivity, envy, hate. And so instead of being full-blown, healthy, conscious, light adults who can fix real, actual problems, we're fighting for really stupid things because of childhood trauma, the insecurity it creates in people. That's my vision. And so that's what I'm trying to sort of do in my life. It feels more meaningful than anything else. What else? Yes, I said that. Childhood trauma is often generational. I just want to say it's like darkness that's transmitted from father to son, from mother to daughter, just on and on. And even this channel too, I seek to have a positive impact on y'all. That's really what I'm trying to do. I want you to feel good and heard and seen, but also I want to allow you to maybe reflect on things that I find important, to grow in consciousness, I want you to feel good, not just to feel good, but to afterwards you go into life and you're better people because you feel good about yourself and you feel secure. And so you can be less reactive. Do you know what I mean? That's sort of my aim. And then, also how I experience love is really like a soul bond, like soul bonded. I experience love as fated, as part of my destiny, as making me really transform as a person, grow as a person spiritually. I see love, a love experience I'm having as that really, really deep, really spiritual, and more than just, like my soul signed that contract way before I came as Penelope. And that, to me, that just feels very FE and I. All right. And then, yes, I had this questioning of perhaps I am ESFJ, which would explain why some people typed me SI or why people can see me as NE. It would make so much sense. So I was like really exploring ESFJ for a while because I love comfort, very much value comfort. And that can sound SI. So it's like, oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm SI, I'm not NI. And because I like comfort. But the idea of liking comfort is because I've experienced so much anxiety and panic attacks and physical illness in my 20s. And even before that, I have panic attacks. That I long for this physical comfort because it is rare that I feel it. I have a really hard time relaxing, a really hard time being present. My brain is always like somewhere else, man, cogitating. I hope that's a word, it just came up. But it can be really, really difficult to relax. And so I sort of long for it, but I have a really, really, really hard time getting there. Also, I have a big disdain for the SI way of life. And again, that is my NI perspective that has SI blind. I understand the importance of SI, but to me, SI doesn't seek transformation. It doesn't seek to become better. It doesn't seek to go after the hard truths and truly see life the right way or something. SI just wants to chill, just wants to be comfortable, share cozy little moments, right? Little evenings with loved ones, FESI, and just like drink good wine and eat good food and have fun and play games. And I understand it, but I find it in the long run so meaningless personally. Like, I don't, it really just does not mesh with my NI. And often with SI people, I feel a bit too intense and too deep and too complex and too difficult. And, you know, I really, really feel the difference between SI people and me. So that's one thing. And also, I'm a full-blown intuitive. Like, I cannot be a sensory person. It's impossible. I even came to that conclusion in my video comparing sensing intuition. I have like zero sensory hobby or activity in my life. I don't garden or paint. I wrote this. I don't garden or paint or draw. I don't decorate. I don't cook. I don't do sports. I don't go on hikes. I don't like explore physical things. I do none of that. There's a complete absence of sensory things in my life, to the point where other people have to pick up the slack. Do you see what I mean? So I know I'm an intuitive. I also have a bit of discomfort with my appearance, with dressing, with, you know, I'm never really sure, do I look good? The only time I feel like I look good is when I wear a dress. But then the rest of the year, I have no idea what to wear. I'm always super insecure. I relate that to like my boyfriend, let's say. Can you tell me if that looks good? I have no idea. But I really want to look good, but I'm not really confident. And that's typical in Socionics of intuitives. So there you go. Is there anything else? Yes, what I'm tracking is not like details. It's not like little experiences I've had. I have the worst memory when it comes to experiential memory. I have very few memories that are vivid, but I remember the emotional impact. I remember the meaning of things. I remember the symbolism. And what I'm tracking is like the golden thread that ties everything together, right? That creates the meaning of life, purpose, destiny, an understanding of why we're here. And that's much more aligned with NI. Last but not least, I do have the presence of SE. SE is a little bit more easy for me. SE is just about taking action, asserting yourself. And I can do that in certain moments. I really can. It's easier for me. It's the SI creating physical harmony paired with TE in like a systematic, organized way. That's the bane of my existence, but I feel forced to do it. So there you go, 22 minutes. I'm so sorry, but I'm done. All right, okay, I'm done. So there you go. I hope I proved to you that I am an ENFJ. It's not really easy to do, but you know, I think it's an insecure spot for me because of TI inferior, but it is okay. Now I'm sure I have Jack backing me up. I even have ChatGPT backing me up after a lot of hard work. So that's why I believe I'm ENFJ. If I still haven't convinced you, you can definitely share that if you're humble and respectful in the comments. And then next in the Union series, I just wanted to do this because Jack made the video and I wanted to answer. But next will be the thinking versus feeling, and it will be in the same sort of academic way as I did the other dichotomies. But afterwards, when I get into the functions or the information elements and then the type, I'm going to go in an archetypal lens. I'm going to create archetypes for each information element or cognitive functions, and then I'm going to create a grander archetype made up of 2 archetypes for each type. That is my aim because it's just my strength. My strength is more intuitive. If I do too much S&T, like I'm just drained and I don't want to do videos anymore. So I'll go more in my comfort zone and create symbols. I think that's going to be much more interesting. And next week, I'm going to continue my neurodivergent series, and I'm going to talk about my experience with sensory sensitivity and overstimulation. Now, this obviously might have to do with the fact that I'm an intuitive, especially NI, that can get easily overstimulated sometimes by the sensory world, but it's very well known that people who have ADHD or even who are gifted can experience sensory difficulties. So that's what I'll share in my next video. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a really great week. I hope you're happy, really, right now. That's what I'm hoping for, that you're a happy person. So I guess I'll share it. And I'll see you next week. Bye.